automatic enrolment is the one chance to get millions of British workers a decent income in their retirement, and that means employers choosing a quality scheme, putting a decent contribution in and making sure we get good value for money at the end.
Now that the default retirement age is no longer there, employers will want to have some comfort that their employees will, when they reach a certain age, look to move on and will be able to afford to move on from employment.
Employers should care about choosing the right scheme because they're making a very big decision for their employees and a decision that will impact their employees in the future.
If you want to get the right staff, if you want to retain them, if you want them to be motivated, then you need to do well by them.
And as we live longer, we're going to have to work for longer, but it also means we have to have a good pension. So the more that employers care about pensions, the more their employees will care about pensions, and the better that people's outcomes will be in retirement.
I think good communications so that the individual knows what they're going to get. Fair value through low charges, I think that's important, and a good default scheme. They are all important and underpinned by good governance.
I think with automatic enrolment and the impact it's got on employers as well, there's no doubt that slick administration and a proven track record to help with the difficulties of implementation and ongoing operation are going to be key.
It's very important that it's a cost-efficient scheme. It's also very important that the investment structure is good enough to deliver long-term stable returns.
For me, governance is in the background. What it should lead to is clearly expressed low charges, excellent investment strategy, and really good communication.
Well, of course, we said that there are 6 important principles for DC pension schemes. That they are well designed, that the governance structures are well set up, and that the governance endures through the life cycle of the scheme. They're fit and proper people who are capable and unconflicted making key decisions. The schemes are well administered and the communications are engaging.
It's enough money going in, the money that's in the pot being well managed and getting good value, and then when it turns into a pension, shopping around for good value.
But employers who are really good at what they do can take comfort if they choose a PQM ready or if they go for PQM as a sole scheme.
PQM is a very important step towards ensuring that there are quality standards for pension providers.
Businesses are in business for themselves, they're not in business to provide employee benefits. Therefore they need to be able to rely on external validation, and the PQM is probably the foremost validation of a DC scheme.
The obligation on employers to select a good scheme for automatic enrolment, feel confident that they're doing that, as well as to bring confidence back to the individuals that are actually going to save within that. There's no doubt that the industry needs a quality standard, quality marks, to help support that initiative.
Employers who are new to pensions won't know a lot about how to get the best deal. What PQM is there to do, I think, is to offer a signpost about what might work for their members.
I think a pension quality mark is really important because both employers and employees frankly struggle to understand pensions and really don't recognise necessarily what a good pension looks like.
The fundamental question is, what's the right scheme for my staff?
Is the scheme reputable? Is it going to do my brand any harm at all, or is it going to benefit my brand?
Most employees will not be actively involved in choosing where the money is invested or how the scheme is run. So a crucial question is, if I choose your scheme, will my employees have a good default option where the money is invested in a sensible way for them?
Is it the scheme that the employer can think, that's the one I'd like to be in?
In a sense, you could reverse it, and an employer could say to a scheme that isn't PQM ready, why aren't you?
I think here the employers will have something where they can say, is it PQM ready or not? And if it is, at least someone has been looking into that these providers have certain quality standards.
There needs to be a straightforward flag, and PQM ready, I believe, can go a long way towards providing employers with some comfort that the things that should be in place are in place.
You've got professional people who deal with pensions day in and day out. They know what good looks like and they know what bad looks like. And so an accreditation which rewards good behaviours, is absolutely paramount, and that should give employers a great deal of reassurance.
We already have a situation where individual firms who run individual schemes can get the pension quality mark, but we now need to expand that approach for situations where a firm is joining a bigger scheme that other employers are part of, and the PQM Ready mark will tell an employer that if they put a decent level of contributions in, together with the features of the scheme, they'll be offering a quality scheme to their employees.
The actual quality scheme itself will help bring confidence, particularly to the master trust sector, which is ever increasing and growing, and particularly is tackling the forefront of automatic enrolment.
I think it's a badge that good multi-employer schemes will want to use. We're going to want to use it in Nest, and Nest Corporation as an employer, we will then be saying that we are a PQM plus employer.
If we're going to win back confidence, we've got to lift the lid on pensions and make them easier to understand, easier for people to engage with.
Excessive consultancy charges, taking money out of individuals' pots, can be a drain on their final pensions. And secondly, we at Which are very concerned about deferred member penalties, where once they leave an employer, they can get an extra charge outside of that.
Jargon. We've got to start communicating clearly. We've got to strip away the mystique of the jargon and understand that people need to understand this stuff.
What we need to see are fewer DC pensions, bigger DC pensions, pensions that can really start to deliver good value, good communications, good governance to individuals.
But the fundamental thing is quality. If we're putting people into a scheme and not giving them a choice before they're put in, we've got to be confident it's a quality scheme.